Hey guys, welcome back. Drip Coach here with Drip and Farm for Poverty, where we don't trust, we verify, and operate with integrity and transparency. Now, today I'm going to be giving a critique or basically a blatant disagreement with what I found on the Coin Bureau trading channel. Now, full disclaimer, this is their trading channel. And also, every time that I come across information I don't agree with, it is also typically under the guise of trading, meaning they're giving tips to traders. Now, the reason why I'm pointing this out is because depending on where you are in your crypto journey, you might be like me and don't really comprehend when people are talking about trading as specific to trading advice. You just may be listening to people talk about price projections and when to take profits, what to sell, what to buy, what all, and that's what a lot of typical crypto content is about. It's kind of under this guise of trading. So the reason why I'm now making this video kind of, like I said, against it is because most people getting into crypto are not traders, and the ones that are probably not in profits because trading is extremely difficult. So I feel like this content kind of puts people in the wrong vein. It's still valuable, don't get me wrong, but it's going to more than likely than not be misconstrued or misinterpreted. And I'll at least speak from my behalf because that's what I did in my crypto journey. And I'm just now able to filter through the noise when I hear this kind of information and go, okay, that doesn't apply for me because I'm not a trader. So I am by no means against the Coin Bureau channel or against trading information. I think they do an awesome job. They're one of the best in the business to do it, and typically pretty unbiased. But keep in mind, whenever you hear price targets and taking profits and what to sell, what to buy, what's happening short term, like any of these buzzwords, realize that that is for a very specific individual, and 9 times out of 10 that's not you. If you're not watching charts and doing TA and making limit orders and things of that nature, then you should just ignore this. But if you're listening to it and you don't put it through that filter, then you may end up literally wrecking yourself. So let's play this short clip as an intro.
I made a video recently talking about the fact that I believe that Bitcoin is near the end of this bull market. And I know that it probably ticked off a lot of you, probably got a lot of you freaked out. And now you're beginning to wonder, should I sell everything? Well, I don't think it's time to sell everything per se, but it does help to look at the chart of Bitcoin to figure out how low could it go. If we have a local top right here at around $125,000 or so, what kind of price levels are we talking about? And how long will the bear market last if it's actually going to be happening? Now, there are a lot of if statements that are being made in this video. A lot of them are all of my decisions, all of my theories and theses, and I'm going to be talking about all of that in today's video here on Coin Bureau Trading. What's up? My name is Aaron.
All right, so he's got 2 things he's going to point out in here, and I'm just going to speed through them and have them show up in the background, basically. But one is the local top and how low Bitcoin could go. And again, trading. So he's looking at historic indicators for what could happen going into the future. That's what traders do. They analyze the data points from an asset to get projections to figure out what's going to happen in the future. And then the other one is the bear market. So all of this is predicated on if indeed, like he said, we're at this local top. Now, caveat, he does say that his local top for Bitcoin is going to happen later on this year, maybe early into next year, and he's looking at the 160 to 180 range, if I'm not mistaken. But for what he's drawing the conclusion on is right now is the local top of the 125 level that we kind of got stopped out at. So he's saying, and this was also before the slightly dovish remarks from the Jackson Hole Symposium and this rally that we got right here that pushed us right back up to 117. So take this all with a grain of salt. But the reason, again, I want to bring this up is because, like you saw in the intro, he's talking about these scenarios that could happen. And again, if you're not paying attention to this being trading advice, you may hear this and hear, okay, the bear market is coming, the top is in, I should sell my Bitcoin. And here he's showing you history, the last cycles that we've had 80%, 86%, 70 some odd percent, 77. And he's like, okay, that could average out to a 70% drawdown from here. And if we have the local top at 125, that puts us in the 30K range, I believe. And then if we get to the 180, that puts us in the 50K range. Then he goes out and shows the moving averages to validate all this. So the TLDR for me is that, one, this is only for traders. So if you're not a trader and you hear this, you're gonna get fucking wrecked. Because looking at this from the perspective of how things were does not take into the fact of how much it has changed. All of the TA up to this point has been based solely on retail. We have no data points for how Wall Street and sovereign wealth funds will react in a bear market. We don't even know what that will look like because they just started buying. Treasury companies just showed up this year and they're already in like the 200s. We don't know how they will respond in a bear market. So you're looking at retail when Bitcoin was a $1 trillion asset class, and here it is sitting well over 2, and trying to make analysis, and you're not taking into effect of we have a new player on the field with way more capital. So will there be a bear market? Sure. How deep will that go? We don't know, because it could very well be that the price drops 30, 40%, and these treasury companies are able to get capital and say, the hell with that. I am going to double down at these new 100K levels, 90K levels, or whatever the fact may be. So I think, again, this is super bad advice because most people are not traders. And if you're going to sell out here thinking that you're going to buy back in at this 30, 40, 50K range, I think you're going to get wrecked. By no means am I a technical analyst or a guru, or have I done my 1,000 hours of study on Bitcoin. But the average person, to me, they just need the dollar cost average and never sell their Bitcoin. That means they should not be worried about any drawdowns or any local tops or anything, because you're just going to continue buying and holding. So when it dips, you're still buying. When it peaks, you're still buying. But if you're trying to time the market like he's showing in here and say, oh, I'm going to get out and buy back in when it's cheaper, I just think you're getting caught with your pants down, caught off sides, because there's too many unknown unknowns with these new players and this new maturity of Bitcoin and new clarity, regulation, right? So all this stuff before was when Bitcoin was kind of a backyard, behind the scenes asset being tossed around on message boards and Reddit threads. This is when you got, for example, when Trump put out this executive order to say that you can now put Bitcoin into your stocks, your 401k plans in retirement. Well, those people they allocate and they don't stop allocating. They have the S&P 500. They haven't stopped allocating to it. They just change amounts based off of whatever you select for your 401k risk tolerance. If you select high risk, then you might get 5% Bitcoin. If you select low risk, you might get 1% Bitcoin, but it stays in there. It doesn't go away. So how do you factor that in to these equations from these traders that are telling people, hey, here's where it's going to go. Here's how low it's going to go. And you can buy back at these prices. You're going to get fucked. Like, there's no other simple way to say it, because they cannot factor that in. None of us can factor in what these treasury companies, 401k plans, sovereign wealth funds, hedge funds, state level adoption. Like, there's no mathematical equation for this because it has not happened yet. And they haven't even got in at the levels that they plan to. I forgot who I was watching. It could have been Arthur Hayes, but he was saying how slow it takes, or how long it takes, for these companies to start moving these massive amounts of capital and get approval. And they're going to kind of dip their toe in and slowly start moving it in. The same way we've seen the ETF kind of tick up. So TLDR, I don't think we're going back down to those levels, but if you're a trader, you can definitely watch these levels and you might get some great entry points. I don't know. But if you are keeping a large amount of capital on the side and you're planning on selling your Bitcoin at 120, 140, 150, because you think it's the top and you're going to catch a 70K Bitcoin price, again, think you'll get wrecked, personally. But if you're not a trader and you're just like a dollar cost average levels, never sell your Bitcoiner like myself, then don't listen to any of this crap because it's just going to shake you out of your position or give you bad information because you're not trading. So therefore it does not apply to you. So you don't need to be concerned about it. Even the highs of Bitcoin, yeah, they're great to speculate on, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because you're never going to sell it and you're just going to keep buying it. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like I'm seeing my bags pump and it's like not as exciting as I thought it would be because I've kind of pulled myself out of the matrix and I'm like, I'm just going to keep buying and holding Bitcoin. Like it doesn't matter. So I am excited about my alts running because I can cycle some of that into Bitcoin. Like I showed you guys with OKB, and I'm waiting on the others so I can do the same thing. But other than that, yeah, be careful of what you're digesting and make sure you're filtering through the right lens so you don't make the wrong decisions. All right, smash that HBO special, help a brother out, like, subscribe, comment down below, and until next time, lift daily and achieve your impossible. See ya.